I'm going to try to explain calories, macros, and micronutrients in the simplest way so you have an idea of where to start and what maybe you need to improve upon in your own diet. We're going to start with calories. Calories are king. You've heard this before, you will hear it again. Calories are going to basically determine how much you weigh and how much mass you have. For example, you can lose weight if you eat only Twinkies, if you only eat 2 Twinkies a day. It's only a few hundred calories. Obviously, that's going to put most people into a deficit. However, a calorie deficit comprised of Twinkies is going to make you feel like hot garbage. So,
oh, wonderful. I was just saying that, tonight for dinner, I hope we have a plate full of hot garbage. Oh, it's not garbage. So thank you.
That brings us to the macronutrients. That's kind of the reason that we implement macronutrient targets for most of our clients. The 3 macronutrients are carbs, fat, and protein. Each one has a certain amount of calories per gram. So for protein and carbs, it's 4 calories per gram. For fat, it's 9 calories per gram. So if you are hitting a prescribed amount of macros, you're automatically kind of adhering to a calorie goal as well. This is really helpful for a few reasons. Number 1, calories are going to determine your total mass. However, macros are going to determine what that mass is made up of. If you are a person that eats high protein, you're recovering from your workouts with carbohydrates, you're eating enough healthy fats to support your hormones, that's going to look a lot different than our previous Twinkie person who is, yes, losing weight, but unfortunately feels like shit, is not retaining any muscle mass, and is just not going to see the benefits that they could out of the amount of calories they're eating. Protein is super, super important. It is basically the building block of everything. So when you get enough protein, it's going to support, if you're losing fat, not kind of taking any of the muscle with it, right? Our body can break down muscle just like it can break down fat for fuel. If we're in a really low deficit, like Twinkie Guy is not taking in any proteins. Twinkie Guy's body, instead of getting rid of mostly fat and burning that because we're in a deficit, we're going to see a little bit more bleed into muscle loss. When we eat enough protein and we follow a resistance program, this is minimized. So this is what bodybuilders do to maintain their muscles on those super low calorie diets. And if you're just a normal person, you're trying to lose weight, the goal is to keep as much lean mass as possible. Lean mass is really important because if I have a pound of fat and I have a pound of muscle, the pound of fat, say it only takes 10 calories to support my body having this and keeping it on my body, this pound of muscle is going to take a lot more than that just to exist. Everything in your body requires calories to function, to exist, to stay going. Lean mass, like muscle, is going to cost your body a lot more calories, and therefore you're gonna burn more just by existing. Carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are one of those things that I think are so demonized for completely the wrong reasons. Most people are overeating on carbs. However, people will then turn around and say that it's the fruit making them fat. I have been doing this for a very long time at this point, years and hundreds of clients. Not one time was someone's problem that they were just so fruit heavy in their diet. It's not the fruit. Carbohydrates are going to support women's menstrual cycles especially, and carbohydrates are the fastest energy source for your body. So if you are a person that works out really hard, having carbohydrates before and after your workout is going to help you recover and feel good during. If you are a person that is more sedentary, your carbohydrate intake will just be lower by default, and that's okay. I don't suggest going keto unless you have a condition that requires you to. It is not going to make you feel good, and a lot of people train high intensity now. You're gonna feel like hot garbage. Don't do that.
Hot garbage.
Fat is so important, especially for women. Men can get away with going a little bit lower in fat and feeling okay. Women a lot of the times cannot. You'll start to see your energy levels dip really fast. Fat helps your hormones function the way they're supposed to. If we are really low on fat, those hormones sometimes do not function correctly, and then we see things like hormonal imbalances show up. Within those 3, there are certain foods that are going to have more micronutrients than others. So we've kind of gone down the ladder. We have calories, right? Then we have carbs, protein, and fat, which are made up of calories, right? Then we get even more specific to micronutrients. Micronutrients are vitamins, minerals, things like that are found in food. Using our Twinkie Guy example, we want to fill our diet X amount of calories with as many micronutrients within that allotted amount as possible. So for Twinkie Guy, he's only eating a few hundred calories, but even with those few hundred calories, he's not getting any nutritional value from it in the micronutrient sense. Whereas if we ate the same amount of calories and it was filled with vegetables and fruits and all of these foods that provide a lot for their caloric value on the micronutrient side, we're gonna get a lot more out of those calories. So it's not that calories aren't created equal. A calorie is a calorie, but what they contain and how you use those calories is not equal. So if you are getting mostly whole foods and really trying to diversify your plant intake and all of that, you're gonna have your micronutrients pretty much covered for the most part. Then if you are only eating processed foods and you're eating, yes, maybe less calories, but those calories don't have any value to your body and its function, you're probably not going to feel as good, and your body composition is probably going to reflect that a little bit more.
Chicken and donuts.
The last thing I really look at with clients is fiber. So I set fiber targets mostly because if you're hitting your fiber target, you're probably eating a lot of whole foods, fruits, vegetables, things like that. If you are hitting your fiber daily, I tend to see those people feel a lot better, report better energy levels, better mood, all of that. If you don't know how much fiber you should be eating, take about the amount of calories you eat per day, and for every 1,000 calories, you're gonna add 15 grams of fiber. So if you eat 1,000 calories a day, which I don't recommend unless you're a toddler, you'll eat about 15 grams a day. If you're eating close to that 2,000 calorie mark, that might be closer to 30 grams a day. There's reasons that I'll increase this a little bit or decrease this a little bit. If you have stomach conditions, obviously fiber sometimes can exacerbate that, but for most of us, fiber is going to be fabulous at taking things out of our body and just getting them out. Grabs onto things that shouldn't be floating around. This is fabulous for anybody that has hormonal issues, any sort of gut anything. If fiber is a regular and solid part of your diet, you're gonna see your digestion massively improve. If you have questions, leave them below.